All right. Welcome. We've got Nora. We got a few new folks here. And
Hello.
remind me, is it Kaya or is it Kiaya? How do you pronounce your name? And I think you're muted there.
It's Kaya. You were right the first time.
Kaya, fantastic. Well, welcome, welcome. We're waiting on a couple more people, but Nora, we'll start with you. And Kaya, what we do here is share some wins, and then we get into maybe some things we're working on. But yeah, what's new with you? What are some wins that you'd love to share?
Thank you so much, Louis. I thought I'd join in, even though I can't stay for long. But I had one specific question that surfaced just yesterday, so I figured I'm going to
Mm,
bring it here.
yes,
So,
yes.
as you might remember, I started this month-long journey with 26 women last month. Tomorrow, we have our closing ceremony. And I realized that we really did it out of our we were not so strategic. I'm saying we because I'm not the only facilitator, but we were not strategic as in we have no upsell coming tomorrow.
Oh,
And I thought
okay.
that that is probably a good question to discuss with you and
Yes,
to just see how you think through that, and if you would like tell
of
me, jolt
course.
me to like come up with something by tomorrow.
Of course, I'd love to do that. But first, tell us more about how that's been. What are some wins? I know you've got questions, but what are some things that are happening that are good and that are worth celebrating?
So we're celebrating that we onboarded that many people,
Mm,
considering that I shared the landing page
yeah,
and the name was a little bit cryptic,
yeah,
and I wasn't necessarily leading with so much clarity, but it sounds like everyone who joined actually completely understood the metaphor and is in the same spirit.
yeah.
So that
Mm,
turned out not to be such a big problem, and maybe
yeah,
just word of mouth. It's a lot of people invited people. So
exactly.
we're happy with that. We're celebrating the shifts that we've heard from the people inside the portal.
Mm,
I will say that I we're not going to close it completely tomorrow. We're going to let the replays be available for an extra month. And I
mhm.
think one of the things that I personally have noticed is that it's around intimacy, right? So it's a
Um,
sensitive topic, and often people take time to dive in.
yes,
So they sign up, but then it's a really slow process to
yeah.
bloom inside the container.
I know, yeah. And this reminds me of, so I attended Abraham Hicks this past Saturday. I don't know if you guys know her or their work, but I was talking to an individual that was sitting next to me, and then the whole notion that came out of it was like sometimes people just really don't know what they want, but they have a feeling that they are desiring, right? They desire maybe intimacy or liberation or freedom, but they don't really know like what they want, right? So whenever that happens, it does cause a bit of resistance around like opening up and sharing because they don't really know what they want or they're there because maybe they were kind of guided to be there, right? And pulled for one reason or another, maybe a friend or whatever. So the reason why I bring this up is that you can then leverage that to start to help people open up more in this, second tier or third tier, or whatever upsell you want to provide, right? Is to create a container where you point that out and say, hey, one of the big things we're noticing is that people are here and they want to learn, but they're having difficulty opening up. Like, how many of you feel that way, right? Or put it in the chat, And then it's like, well, because of that, what we are creating is an opportunity. So what I love to do, and Kaya, you can also think about this, and for everybody else on the recording as well, from the perspective of when we're selling or when we're doing upsells, it's really about how can I provide an opportunity, an invitation to solve a problem and or to fulfill a desire, an unmet desire. So in this case, it's like just as an example, right, Nora? Like you can do any upsell really. But it's like, hey, one of the things we're noticing is that people are having a hard time opening up or going deeper. And how many of you are feeling that way, where maybe you're here, but there's still something there that you feel is still untapped? Okay, because of that, we have this new opportunity for those who want to continue the momentum, right? Because it's been a month or whatever. It's like, so for those of you that want to continue on the journey or whatever, right? And so what happens is you introduce this opportunity as a way for them to continue to meet their need of intimacy, of love, or what are you seeing? What are some needs that they like want to meet, Nora? What are some of the things that are coming up?
First off, this is great. Thank you. You just have like a good way with words. There's two things. I mean, the practice we do is holding up a vision, so manifestation with intimacy. So there's always the content of
Mm-hmm.
their vision. That's one thing they want, but there's also the fact that they want to actually rekindle with their intimacy and use and be in relationship to their bodies in a way that they feel is healthier and more wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you're right. I think the people that want to continue are those who are actually here to heal something in relationship to their intimacy, and that are a little bit like just
Mm-hmm.
unsure. And so,
Yeah.
in fact, I think what's going to be the upsell is really, in fact, private coaching and integration around it with maybe
Mm-hmm.
some, yeah,
Yeah.
some continuity of the group. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the root of all that is this idea of yeah, it's like blossoming, right? It's like if you imagine the seed, it gets planted and now it's barely growing, but for it to be able to break through the soil, it needs um that impetus, right? It needs that like that trajectory upward, and so it needs fuel. And so all those things could come into play with how are you naming this upsell, right? Or how are you naming this opportunity? So that they get associated to that identity of blossoming or intimacy or being someone who's open or healed or free, right?
did you say this the seed needs momentum or motivation or
Oh, impetus. It needs
impetus?
it
Impetus,
just
yeah.
needs, yeah, it needs something, like it needs wind in its sails, right? And it's fuel to the fire. And we have Vesna joining us here shortly. Um, but yeah, so that's the biggest thing for you. It's just like when you're creating a container, especially for the feminine, it would be amazing to see an identity piece to it. And hey, Vesna, how are you? For you to be able to then have that be like a magnet that pulls them in, and it's like naturally the next step, especially if they've been with you for like a month. Um, And then also there's a lot more to it. I'll get to our other members here in a little bit, but another big piece too is the pricing structure. Um, Having a couple of options, so in case people are extremely interested and they want to do it, but maybe I don't know, maybe something with the finances. So maybe have a tiered approach where you have two, maybe even three, but just keep it super simple. The main flagship offer with maybe a couple of pricing options.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Awesome, Vesna. Welcome. And then we have Kaya. If you can turn your camera on, we would love to connect and meet with you. But yeah, share a little bit more about your wins. I know you're starting something new, which I think a lot of us here, as you can hear, are doing. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So just one little warning. I do have a baby, so I'm sorry if there are little loud noises that happen. But for me, I just figuring going on like social media and figuring out all the different offers they have. I finally figured out what direction I want to go with. And one thing I realized a while ago was I really do love talking with people about their entrepreneurial goals. It makes me
Mm-hmm.
fired up, and I give them
Mm-hmm.
like 10 ideas back about what they're talking about. So lately, I've just been in this idea of wanting to be like a support mentor. I know I don't have that much professional experience, but I do know I have my own value to give. So I wanted to honestly create a community just like this. And so the past few months, I've been working on the building of it, getting school, getting everything to feel how, what do I actually want to give off and everything. And now I'm
Mm,
to the point where like I need to start engaging with the people and inviting them in. And I'm sort of
uh-huh.
at like a standstill of like, I got to keep moving forward. But what do I do now? So it's
Yes,
interesting.
yes, yes. Fantastic. Well, we'll come back to maybe a question, a challenge beyond that or behind that. I have some ideas that I'd love to share, but yeah, Vesna, welcome. Good to see you again. What are some wins from your perspective? What are you working on?
Hi, sorry, maybe there will be some noise because my sons are here and having a
No
dinner.
worries.
Yeah, been a while. Hope that you're all doing great. My wins. So I did send a presentation. Now I'm waiting for the response
Nice.
and thinking at the same time how what could be other ways of monetizing these classes because it seems like children love them. I love doing them. Yeah, I'm thinking of other solutions which I will maybe need to go for.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that as well. And congrats on sending it over. That's a big piece,
Thanks.
right? As maybe we saw with Nora and now with Kaya, it's like the beginning is usually the most uh uncertain, because there's a lot that can get wrapped up into that in terms of are we ready? Are we good enough? Right? And there's a lot of things that can come up. So congrats on that, Vesna. Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll dive in deeper. I know I want to address a couple of things there with Kaya, but she might be taking care of her little one, so maybe we can come back to her in a little bit. So yeah, let's just go with you, Vesna. So, um, what when you really take a big step back, right? What are some of the biggest hurdles that might keep you from finding these other approaches? Is it more mindset? Is it more skill set? Is it just being organized, or what's coming up for you?
Um, I don't know. Maybe the thing is that I don't know where to start because I was thinking like start trying to organize the classes when the
Okay.
parents sign for the classes. It's like a week class during the holidays, vacations, and then the parents can sign their children up for it. Ah, do I leave Kaya the space because she needs to tend the baby and we can.
All good. Yeah, maybe just finish your thoughts there, and we've got
Mhm.
Jasmine joining here. So welcome, Jasmine. Welcome, welcome.
Hi. Yeah,
Um,
I was thinking, yeah, that maybe I need to go for the classes that parents pay, but then it's like where to start. I think this is the
mm,
biggest problem. Where to start, how to
mm,
find them, where to look for them. So I think maybe I need to start looking in that direction. Also, I was thinking because Switzerland is close, the mindset in Switzerland is different than in France, that maybe I need to do it in Switzerland.
okay.
And yeah, so all the bureaucratic stuff then also which are there
Mm.
and finding the space and so on. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you this. If there was a part of you that was absolutely certain and full of faith and energy and like convinced that like you cannot fail because you're creating and you're just putting things out there, what would that part of you tell you?
Mm. It's interesting when you say this way because I feel that the classes because you know they are tried out and I feel that they cannot fail. I think that they are good, but I imagine this failure part would be more in like trying to find the clients and make them signing up. Yeah, if this would be done, it's like just yeah, easy going, easy going then.
So then what would you do, right? If there was a part of you that started to lead the project from a place of create, because I remember our conversation, right? You're big on like going for it, creativity, having fun, being
Mm,
playful, and I think all of us
mm,
are, right? At some
mm.
core. So, and I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like, what would feel great to create? Right? Maybe that's a little saying here, right? For all of us, for Kaya, for Jasmine, because I know all of you guys' story pretty much. What would feel great to create? And the more we ask ourselves that, the more these ideas may come up. Like for Kaya, it's like, okay, it would feel great to create a community like this and be connected with other people and be a support system, right? But for you, what would feel great to create?
I don't know. I imagine I need to create, if I want to go this way, I need to create a brand where that the people trust and the people will go to.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs to be based on the integrity and the values. And I like all that. I imagine it would be great to create like you said, the community where the people can also come to and say that I know that maybe they can also have some information for free, so that
Yeah.
this way we can build trust and yeah, maybe yeah.
Yes. And now watch this. On the flip side, what part of that creation do you still maybe have a little bit of resistance against?
Two things maybe. So first thing, as I said, I don't know where to start looking for because
Yeah.
it's like a new thing. Because for
Yes.
the children in the school, I knew where to go to. Now
Yes.
I need to think about where I need to go to. And then the second thing, maybe there is like a small fear of rejection, because when you have all the parents in the group and
Yes.
then you're afraid to say something to you that you shouldn't because when somebody is not happy. I was just I don't maybe I told you the other day already. I was talking to a teacher and she explained that
Mm,
teachers have hard time now in schools because the if let's say somebody says something like, for example, there was like a music teacher and said, two black in the piano. You have two black
mm,
to say
keys or
keys. Yeah, they are they have the same value as one white. So then the parents came that
mm,
she's a racist.
no, I see.
So like parents, I don't know. It can be like a great community, but sometimes they also maybe are not happy, and then this not happiness goes and just spreads like so maybe
I
I'm
know.
afraid of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's natural, right? That's all of us. Like right now, I'm
Mm.
running ads, right? And like initially, one of the big things was like, oh, what are people gonna say, and what if I get bad comments? But then it reminds us of this notion that, well, I don't know, right? Let me ask you, are you doing this for approval, or are you doing this for
N-
transformation?
I'm not. I don't think I. So when you have a community,
Mm-hmm.
then the thing is that let's say we have also like groups of parents like on WhatsApp and so on. And then the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that when one parent
Yeah.
disagrees on something, they're really strong with their like
Yes.
wording, and then it's like kind of takes with them the other parents.
Yeah.
It's I think
And the
it's
good
more
thing about
yeah.
that, because I know where you're headed with that. The good thing about
Mm.
that is that the opposite is true. If they love you, then they're gonna bring the other people with them, isn't it?
I don't know. I would hope so. I would hope so, but I don't. Also when you check like some profiles from some known people, and then you see like
Yes.
like Taylor Swift says, haters will hate, of course, but
Yeah. Yeah.
their energy is so strong and taking
Yeah.
other people with them. So it's yeah, yeah. But it's true, as you said, I'm not doing it for approval. I want really
Mm,
I want to give these children the seeds that they can like
okay.
later on make the plants out of it. Out of it,
Okay,
yeah.
so here's what I want is I want you to sit with this idea of like, why is that what you just said really
Mm.
important for you now? So I want you to think about that. I'll come back to you. But let's welcome. Well, now she's talking to someone, but we're gonna welcome Jasmine in a little bit. How are ya? What's new? What are some wins? I know you're trying to
Fighting
unmute
with my
yourself.
mute button. Sorry about that. I was trying.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hi everybody. Jasmine here. Wins. So since the last call, I did do the Black Business Showcase. So that was a
Mm,
win.
yeah.
That was a local Black History fair where just a lot of Black businesses in the area were coming together and showcasing their brands. And so it was a really great networking opportunity. I got a chance to meet a lot of great people, got a few email addresses, got some folks that were interested in hearing more about what I have to offer. So that was definitely a win. Um, and then to piggyback off of that win, I feel like I kind of lost some momentum a little bit. Luis, I know I just kind of bore my soul in your
Yeah,
inbox, right? Sending you audio clips and everything. But
that's good.
I think what happened was a lot of what the lady just who was just before me just kind of was
Mm,
sharing
yeah,
about
Bessie.
a lot of that fear, right? And
Yeah,
that hesitation. I could really resonate with that.
yeah.
I think ultimately I just kind of got in my head and then
Mm,
I wasn't as clear on next steps. And then I
mm-hmm.
waited so long to follow up from the event that then I just talked myself out of reaching out altogether. So now I'm in the process of returning back to the basics and saying, okay, it's never too late, right?
Yeah.
Luis, even just kind of thinking back to like the text I got from you and then how that led to like me being here now in this space. So clearly it's
Mm-hmm.
living proof that it's there's always an opportunity to circle back around.
Yes.
So I connected today on my lunch break. I'm at work right now, but I knew that being here and even just connecting, even if it was not going to be for the whole time,
Yeah.
that even this was going to be a win.
Mm,
Because it's still reinforcing the decision and the commitment that I made to be more active in my
yes.
business, right?
Yes.
And it does even kind of remind me of like the process because we're all on a journey. There will be those ups, there will be those downs. It's not always going to
Yes.
be like this steady ladder climb. It might
Yeah.
be pivots and all kinds of ebbs and flows. And so that is a part of what you're signing up for with the business as well.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So I'm grateful to be reconnected. I'm grateful to just kind of go back to the drawing board
Mm-hmm.
and revisit, next steps. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on the progress and momentum. And also it's a reminder that it's a sliding scale. It's not an on and or off switch, right? So
Mm,
sometimes we feel like, oh, like for example, yesterday, I had DMs and had to do these things and had these things I had planned and I didn't do them, right? So
mm,
then I woke up this morning feeling overwhelmed and like, oh gosh, I like, why didn't I do that? And I
mm,
should know better and like all these things, right? Maybe resonate, all you guys can resonate. So what I chose instead was, okay, well, what's the next step? Right? Not what's like the 20 things I gotta do today, but it's like, what's the next step? Oh, well, hey, I have this podcast that I recorded and I get to launch it. I get to share it with the world. Right? So let's start there. So you slowly start to go back into it by saying, what's maybe one thing I can do to show myself like, first of all, it's okay, like I'm good, like everything is good. And going back to this other question, what would feel great to create? And it would. And like I'm looking at the thing here, and it was an incredible podcast with this gentleman named Sheikh and all this stuff. He's from Dubai, right? So it's like, cool, let's just step into it gradually, right? And it's phases to your point, So it's just phases and reminding us, okay, well, what do I get to do? Connecting with these individuals. For you, it's the emails, right? But again, like for me, when I saw like all these things in my inbox and the DMs, I was like, oh gosh, it just feels like a lot,
yeah.
right? And it's like that then becomes a story, a narrative that we're telling ourselves, which is normal. It's part of the process. And Kaya, I know that you're next. We've been trying to call on you here, so hopefully you can hear us and you can turn your camera on in a second. But that's the piece. It's like it's not perfect. It is a process, and it's something that we get to enjoy because we get to create, we get to um give and serve and again it's just like telling ourselves a new story of like instead of oh man I have all these things I've got to do oh wow, I get to create this thing next, and it feels energizing, and I want to do that, right? In this case, for me, launching the pod. So we'll come back to you. We'll dive in a little bit deeper, but I do want to connect with Kaya here. She's newer, so yeah. Tell us a little bit more about this journey of yours. I know you're looking to launch, but you said you've been feeling maybe. Well, tell us more. What have you been feeling, or what's going on at this stage as you're launching?
I think, hmm, I think it's probably just not sure how to step into that actual mentor cap. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Um, just something I've never actually done before. The most experience I have is just rambling off with friends, you know, and as much as I
mhm.
can see that I do bring value to it, it's weird and awkward trying to bring that to strangers, you know what I mean?
Okay. And from your perspective, like, why is that? Why do you feel it's kind of weird?
Hmm. I feel like really it's just something I've never done before, I guess. And I feel like the family, when you try doing it with family, it gets turned down or twisted in weird ways. So
Yes.
I know the people I want to reach out to, they're already gonna have ideas. So they're gonna be
Mm,
on board with it. But the experience that I have is like that's not quite how it's gonna feel. So it's just having to get past that,
gotcha.
like that was different people. I wasn't going for a target audience like I would be
Yeah.
now. That was just family. And sometimes family doesn't
Yes.
have the right kind of experience that you want to get out of it. So
Yes. Yes.
now
Absolutely.
I just need to step into it knowing that I'm going aligned and doing that. It should be more successful in different ways. It'll have failure
Mm-hmm.
because everything does. Failure is how you learn, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a lot different.
Yes, I love that. And it's true for all of us, right? I think all of us have this vision of like, I want to impact more people and get paid for it. Right? I want to mentor people and I want to make an income from it. Like that's what we all want. And notice how there's a thread here where it's like there's these, we can just call them stories, narratives, these beliefs that then derail us, right? We're chugging along, we're on track, and then, oh, I feel overwhelmed. There's so many DMs. Ugh, I'm just not gonna do it, right? Or like, oh, it's a new thing over here, and I don't know where to start, right? Or for Kai, it's like, oh, but what are they gonna think of me? Or for Jasmine, it's like, oh, maybe I've lost my momentum, or right? So notice how we're, first of all, you're not alone, right? And secondly, congratulations. Why? Because you're very aware. You, like all of us here, we're very aware. We're very in tune with um there are possibilities. I'm getting chills thinking about it, right? It's like, is it possible for there to be one person out there in the universe, out there in this world, right, of billions of people, one person, my next person, that I can serve, that I can guide, that I can help, that I can support? For Vesa, maybe it's more families, right? Is there one family? Is it possible that there's one family that's going to view me as helpful and useful, and they're going to want to refer me? I don't know, right? What do you guys think? I think yes, absolutely, right? So
Absolutely.
it's like going into this alignment of, wait, I can do this, because it is possible. And so now with that energy and that feeling refreshed, we can step into, okay, well, what's the strategy, right? So now for you, Kaya, what is the strategy you're attempting? I know you're still new to that, or what have you tried, or what will you try?
I think right now I feel like I've just been learning a lot of the little curveballs that social media has to offer for like for example, using TikTok, you have to get
Oh
to
yeah.
certain followers to have a link in your bio. And then
Mm,
Instagram just has a lot of different layouts. So I feel like right now I've just been figuring out all those small details and figuring out okay, which way do I actually want to? Because honestly,
mm,
I feel like last night I realized, I think I'm trying to engage in too many things. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's threads attached to Instagram, which I will say is honestly amazing. I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's used threads, but there's a lot of engagement on there. So that's honestly
Yes.
pretty great. But and then like even school, going into school the other day, and I was just like, huh, I could just try using school and figure out how to get traffic from there. So I think that's
Yes.
where I'm at too, is actually figuring out and narrowing down where do I actually need to put in the energy to focus on bringing people in.
Yes,
Still
absolutely.
still figuring it out for sure.
That's good though. And so see, you've got ideas, and I think all of us have ideas, right? Like Jasmine can send one email today. Like Kaya, you can connect with one person on school today.
Mhm.
Like you see a post, you comment on it, hey, this is cool, or whatever insights you've got. You send them a DM saying, hey, Jenny or whoever, I loved your post. I'm here in I forget where you're based out of, right? And then,
United States.
yeah, yeah, or like the actual city, like I'm here in California or whatever, I'm here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Let's connect, right? And then you just put it out there. Hey, like it can be simple. It could be a
Mhm.
very simple process.
Okay, cool.
And then for Vesna as well, like who's one family that I can reach out to that may be connected? Or one other principal or one other leader, that would then facilitate the connections throughout these different organizations or schools, right? Or uh who's somebody in my network that is connected to parents or to schools, and maybe I start with them, just a quick 15-minute chat, see what ideas they've got, and see where that leads me. But again, it's like this whole journey of creation. Like you're creating that, right?
Mhm.
Like today, I reached out to Jasmine. I was like, hey, tune in, and even if it's only for a bit. Now she's here. Like we created that because she allowed it and she accepted it and she jumped on. Same thing with Kai, right? I reached out. Hey, I have this community, blah blah blah. Here's the thing. She accepted it. So this is modeling for each and every one of us, and even for me as a reminder, we get to create this. We just have to then put like one foot in front of the other, not like three steps in one. Well, no wonder we feel like we're stumbling all over ourselves because to Kaya's point, like we might be trying to do too much. So
Mhm.
simplification, what's that one thing you can do? For me, I'm already looking at my calendar and I've got like several things coming up and it's a busy day. Okay, cool. Let's just focus on like launching that pod, connecting with maybe 20 people today, and everything else will fall into place, right? So we'll come back to you, Kaya, but that's powerful, right? You already have some ideas. It's more about refinement. So now
Mhm.
let's go to Vesna. So, Vesna, for you, what are you gathering? What is that big why? And then also, what are some strategies that you can start to implement as you're starting to kind of get back into that rhythm?
Mm. First of all, thank you very much, Luis, because I really liked the when you said like being happy to create and just makes like puts me back to going back to the joy, like to the
Mm,
joy to enjoy doing it, and whatever happens, then it happens. Doesn't matter. I just enjoy the process
yes,
because having fun with it is I think it's very important, and it's like it brings easygoingness inside. So
yes.
so so thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just already decided that I need to contact two people. So
Yeah,
so I'll go that way and see. One is like like I try to go for two things because he was working in Switzerland, so maybe I can ask him a few questions. But he's also going
yes,
through a divorce, so I can try out the Heart Hero program with him. So
yes,
so I'll do this, and his son has some trouble, so maybe I can help his son. So maybe then he can also give me some ideas where to start in Switzerland, where to like to which starting points to where to go. And another one it's a person, she's like she has a different I think I have an issue with the money, and she doesn't. So I need to talk to her if, and she's from here, so maybe she knows also some ideas how to launch this in Switzerland, and I see
Look at
from
that.
there. So yeah, this is like I'll do this until the next week. Then yeah.
Look at that. Nice. So, right, everybody, even on the recording, Vesna went from, oh, I don't know where to start.
Mm,
And like, that's the narrative we tell ourselves. That's not just you, Vesna. It's like, geez,
mm,
like, where do I start with my DMs? And it's like, well, do I send them a text or do I send them a voice note? But then it's these reminders of like, well, hold on. Like, instead of what do I need to do or how do I do this, if I'm feeling a bit stuck or uncertain, let's get out of that and go into what do I really want? Like, what is it that why am I going to respond to the DMs? Well, obviously, I want to like make a connection, talk to
mm,
people, see how I can help them, and then just go from there. Okay, cool. But why do you want to do that? Oh, well, because I want to serve and coach and mentor,
yeah.
right? So it's like this reminder for I think all of us. And
Going
I'm
back to
also
the
thinking of Lucy, who we see her here week in, week out. A great conversation we had the other day was how she and her husband are now reaching out as a team to her list. Where in the past that felt heavy and like so much stuff. Now she views it as, oh wait, that's just a part of the process to connect and help more people. So you see, so it's all about perspective. It's all about, well, how are we approaching this thing, right? This chore, right?
yeah.
And we get to navigate it from the perspective of like, okay, what would feel great to create? Or another saying in line with that is, how can I get into a state to create a mental state? You know, so it's like, oh, let's tune into these calls, or let's play some music, or let's journal, or let's just do some breath work for 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is so true. Yeah, because I also I like I was I just I was doing some classes and I was just thinking that really need to reconnect with I need to reconnect with myself. When you do this, it's like everything goes back. The purpose comes back instead of
Yes.
just running around and trying to do. And sorry for not looking. I was just my battery
No.
is getting. So yeah, I think you're so right that to try like going back to the purpose and reconnecting with ourselves because then it's easier to be in the flow and yeah.
There you go.
Thank
There
you.
we go. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. All right, so Jasmine, I know you're at work, so if possible, we can get you unmuted there and jam out a little bit further in terms of the tactical or maybe the mindset of how you can regain momentum. Just let us know if you can hear us.
I can hear you. Yep, gotta hop. My training class is about to restart, but
Okay,
just what
okay.
I heard about that creating like the space to create and just being very
Mm.
like thoughtful about like what that environment looks like. That was good. So, I definitely will be taking that away, and I also think that my best next step, just to kind of quickly kind of answer your question for me, it's just
Yeah.
going to be taking you up on that email, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be like my best next step after this. It's going to
Yes.
help me like gain that momentum or build on that momentum. It's just sending you that email and then, getting
Yeah.
that feedback.
Absolutely. No, that's a perfect next step. And yeah, sometimes we this is that fuel, right? This is the fuel to regain momentum for a lot of us because like, hey, stuff happens or we didn't do the thing we needed to do. So what's that one thing you can do today, like right now or whenever, so that you can get back into alignment with your goals? I have this thing right here that says if someone was watching your day-to-day behavior, would they be able to see what you're working towards, what your goals are? It's a big poster right here, right? So I'll leave you with that, Jasmine. I know you've got to hop, but it's just this idea of like, what could we do? What's one behavior, one action to show that we are aligned to the higher vision? So thank you for tuning in, Jasmine. Hopefully you enjoy your day, and then we'll see that email. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you. I'm writing that down right now.
I,
What's one behavior, one action? That's so good. Everyone have a really great rest of your day. And it was really great hearing from everyone. I'll see you later.
yeah, all right, fantastic. Take care. All right, and then back to you, Kaya. So then for you, similar idea in terms of like the tactical or what you can do beyond just the mindset of creation. Yeah, what's coming up for you? What are some ideas? We can also share a few, but what are you starting to get from all this?
Um, Honestly, I feel like my thoughts as everyone's talking and sort of like what's the one thing you could do that feels aligned. I feel like,
Mm,
oh, you're okay. I feel like taking honestly taking like this step and joining the invitation call and everything. I feel like that was a great step for me to sort of see the experience I want to give out without it having
mm,
to be me. Because now I have watching you and how you interact with us, I feel like a lot more of clarity of like,
mm-hmm.
I could come about it in this way. So I feel like honestly just saying yes to this whole course and everything was definitely one of the aligned steps. Oh my
I
goodness.
love that.
Um, Other than that, I guess I still have to think about it more for like a day-to-day sense.
Okay. And I know you got your baby there. How old is it a boy or a girl?
He's a boy. He's about 10 months.
Awesome. What's
Yeah,
up? He's
he's a
just running
man.
around.
Yep, he's getting
That's
antsy.
cool. I know, I know. Well, we're almost done here, but yeah, thank you each and every one of you for tuning in. And so the last thing I'll say is, and it's for everybody when it comes down to uh the next step, yes, first is alignment, like even for me, like these calls serve for me to realign to giving and to sharing and to pouring into the community, and then this becomes a recording, and then um Mona or Lucy or Kyra or whoever else listens to the recording, they'll listen to it, right? So then it gets me into this state of creativity and flow, number one. Okay, number two, then we get into the tactical, we get into, okay, cool, we're in alignment, we're feeling good, it feels good to give, it feels good to create. What's next, right? And so that's where we get to look at, okay, cool, let's start in school, let's start like just commenting on people's stuff and then reaching out to them and sending them a few messages, right? So for you, Kai, I think that would be the best next step too, is you're already on school, you see that there's a lot of engagement, I would highly recommend that you double down on school. TikTok and all these other platforms are really good. Threads is great. But it's very much of a longer term play. The way I got pretty much everybody on here was me reaching out. Like for Vesna, we met a while back in a couple projects I was working on, and then I pinged her, I emailed her, hey, I've got this thing, like would love to reconnect, and then we did, right? So for you, maybe you could even do that, like in your life. Maybe you've gone to networking events or people that you've connected with in a kind of a business sense. Reach out to them, say, hey, I'm starting this community for like-minded individuals so that we can like build something great together. And some of them will say no. Most of them will say no. Some of them will say yes. But it's the ones that say yes, like Vesna, like Jasmine, like you, Kaya. We're here now, and then we're co-creating together, right? So with that said, let's do a quick little round. We'll do Vesna first and then Kaya. But what are some takeaways or what are some insights as we start to wrap up here?
The takeaway is that yeah, just go to the basics and see what is missing in the whole. Like you said, what is missing, because now I love doing the courses. I love creating them. I love going
Mm,
out to do them. It's just the sales is the missing part where I need to build on. So thank you
yes.
for that. Thank you to put it in the perspective.
Mm,
So this is my biggest take, and also like to just have fun with it and enjoy instead of it's not so heavy. It doesn't need to be
yeah.
heavy. It can just be fun and just like going like getting the energy from there to also do
Mm,
some things which are not so which I like
yeah.
less. So yeah, so
Yes.
thank you for that as well.
Of course. And again, I'm in the same situation because like I got into a state yesterday too where I was like, okay, cool. Let me just set a 15-minute timer and I'm just gonna reach out to like 5 people and then it turned into 10, right? And then it just the timer went off and I just kept going and going. So same thing for you, but it's just like, cool, let me reach out to that gentleman or some other people and then who knows, as you're in that momentum, you're like, oh yeah, this person and that person. But see now, like even I'm getting excited because then you start to think about other ways because you're in this more aligned state of creating and building.
Mm. Yes, yes. I also, also just I was following another class before I jumped on this one, and
Mm,
I was just feeling so tired. And okay, do I go for it or not? I said, no, I need to go because I didn't say I won't come. So so
mm,
thank you because just feel a lot of energy. So thank you
yes.
for that. Yeah, just thanks. Mm.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. And then Kai, yeah, I know you got your hands full, but yeah, what are maybe some takeaways from your end?
I think my biggest takeaway is just honestly be a little bit more inviting and engaging, even if it's
Mm,
not fully fully salesy, because any little bit of an engagement can lead to a different connection or a
that's
full.
right. Yeah, that's right. And that's another thing that you and I could jam out on. Let me stand up here. We can jam out on in the DMs and just connect further is okay, now that we have the energy, like what do I actually do so that it's not pushy or salesy or kind of like too much, too quick? And there's
Mm-hmm.
many approaches. It really comes down to our intention and then just um honoring our voice, honoring like who we are and letting that translate into the messages we send and not overthinking it. 'Cause sometimes I think we can all resonate, right? It's like sometimes we know kind of what to do, but then we overthink it. But then when you have
Yeah.
someone saying, "Well, let me look at it. Like, what message would you send?" Okay, yeah, this one might be a little bit too much. Try it this way, or maybe they're like, "Hey, no, that message is great. Send it." Now it gives us that not permission, but it gives us maybe that sense of reinforcement, like, "Hey, actually, I can do this." You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It,
Fantastic. Well, anything else?
um, no, I just think this was overall a little great experience for me.
Of course. Oh yeah, welcome. It's every Tuesday, so Vess and everybody else on the recording as well. Tune in, and then we'll see you guys next week. Okay?
All right.
All right, fantastic. Take care.
Were you reading?
Thank you. Bye.
All right.